Welcome to the Full of Tracy Money Audio Commentary. This is Owen Tracy recording. It's 5:51 p.m. That is Central Time. Today is February 14th. Today being Friday, it's the big picture long-term audio and video for the various different asset classes, and I'd like to wish Happy Valentine's Day to anyone who's celebrating it. I think as we think about the long term, there are several big questions, and I think chief among those is, are we seeing a change to the global world order? Now, is this what many have looked at Neil Howe's book, The Fourth Turning, and is that what we're actually seeing right now? Well, I think it might be a little bit overzealous to reach that conclusion just yet, but we certainly know that we have an aging population in many of the most developed countries, and the burden of paying pensions is certainly something that is going to be challenging for the lengthy medium term. And we also know that there is a chronic shortage of new children being born. So it's not like we're going to see a big surge of a domestic population to make up the shortfall. At the same time, we know that there's a lot of migration that could happen, and there's a lot of resistance to it, and particularly because of the triumph of moral relativism and how that has impacted the evolution of multiculturalism. I think this is, and then I think all of those factors have to be viewed in terms of a long-term cycle. And when we think about long-term cycles, I think we can think about how the trend of regulation is also influenced by emotionality and long-term cycles. And when we think of course, about the fourth turning, that is part of what they were thinking about, that there is an absence of a generational memory after a certain number of generations have passed, so that about once every century you get a big change because the people of the present do not remember the lessons from the people of the past. But all of that has to be also taken into the context of what is actually happening in the financial markets, which is why I've looked at the trend of the Nasdaq 100 on a log scale chart. Now, it's important to emphasize that a log scale chart is most appropriate for unlevered investors. And that's because the right-hand scale tends to move in percentages. So when you're unlevered, you're much more focused on how much money you can make by the price rising. When you're levered, you're thinking more about how many points it's going to move. So log scale charts are more appropriate for unlevered, longer term investors. And I think that there are a couple of things that are really worth highlighting.